What is up, my fellow adventurers? This weekend we're gonna head up Maple Mountain. Might be our last look at Maple Mountain for a while. Woo! Which is, I think, the second highest point in Ontario, I'm pretty sure. Ishpatina Ridge beats it by a little bit. We got probably a day or two of paddling to get there, we'll see. We had to do a bit of a plan change, and then we're gonna try and loop around to the south and come back. See some new sights. I've never seen this section of the Temagami cluster before, so it's a new part for me. Should be interesting. Sorry, I burped there a little bit. Ooh, just scarfed down a bagel belt. Give us some energy, because looks like we're paddling into some headwinds. Oh my god. Pretty much just in the last 45 minutes of the drive, the wind just got pretty nuts. I know you're wet. Nobody's happy right now. Doesn't look like it's going to be as nice of a paddle, but oh well, you gotta look at the bright side. New place, new sights, new adventure. Can't wait to get on the water. So let's go. Oh my god. God, wind! We didn't cover much ground this first day. We ended up getting windbound on a beautiful site on the Lady Evelyn River. A couple hours later, another group of paddlers pulled over and asked if they could spend the night with us. They were tired of paddling against the 35-kilometer-an-hour headwinds as well. We were grateful to have the extra company. First sighting of Maple Mountain. Doesn't look that far away, but pretty far still. The weather today is not looking friendly, but it's better than yesterday as far as the wind goes. It's a big lake. Raining a little bit. Oh man, the wind wasn't bad enough. And of course we're in the middle of the lake. Nowhere to park, even if you wanted to. Yeah, I know, Nona, it's raining. Raining, yeah. Nobody likes the rain, Nona. I thought it was on the point, but I don't know if it is or not. Yeah. So that one. Lay down. I know you're wet. Nobody's happy right now. So we ended up pulling over and setting up a tarp and a little bit of camp, just because the rain was relentless and the wind was just a nightmare. This trip is definitely taking its toll on us, but we're still hoping to make it up to Maple Mountain. We're just packing up now because the weather looks a little bit more promising and the wind is about as calm as it's been the entire trip, so we're hoping to get across Lady Evelyn and into the Narrows there and start working our way up to Maple Mountain. Hopefully get there by night, even if it's a bit of a push. Hopefully this trip doesn't turn out to be a dud. So far it's not been the greatest. Basically just follow the shoreline on the left. was at this point that the wind started to turn in our favor. We got a little bit of a tailwind for a bit, but the weather still wasn't great. We ended up making camp, and about 10 minutes later the sun decided to come out. We were starting to get the impression that Lady Evelyn Lake was not our friend. So, we had to do a bit of a plan change at the end of yesterday. The wind and everything has just been relentless, and we started looking at our goal of Maple Mountain and thinking it's not realistic if we want to get to work on Tuesday. Stupid work. So anyways, we're gonna just do a loop through the Sugar Lake Conservation Reserve, which we were told by another group of paddlers was pretty beautiful. So hopefully we don't regret our decision, but yeah, if we hadn't lost time the first 2 days because of the wind and the rain, it would have been totally achievable, but at this point it's just not realistic if we want to get to work on Tuesday. So anyways, let's get in the boats and get going. That's your last look at Maple Mountain for a while. Still sad we didn't get to climb it. Whee! This might hold the record for the biggest lake I've ever paddled. This makes Lake Chiniguchi look tiny. You paddle this thing for like 3 days and not cross the whole thing. Just wanted to thank Lady Evelyn for actually being nice to us today. The wind's been not too bad. A little bit of a tailwind, but not so much that you're constantly doing corrections just to keep going straight. It's been a nice ride across the lake, really. No complaints. We're almost at the Portage, going into the Sugarbush Conservation Reserve. I'm going to use that to get out of the damn winds for a bit. See what it's like on the other side of the Conservation Reserve, and maybe try and paddle back into the mouth of the river. Oh, beautiful day now. Working our way through the Conservation Reserve was a welcome change from the big waters of Lady Evelyn. Even the portages seem relaxing. Oh. Don't let the length of these portages on the map intimidate you. They're long, but fairly flat and beautiful. The highlight of this section of the trip was definitely Sugar Lake. With crystal clear water, one of the most epic campsites I've ever seen in my life, tons of cool stuff sunken at the bottom of the lake to see, this is one we considered staying on for the night, and one I'll definitely be making my way back to someday. What a big hill.
Yeah. I was just thinking how fun it'll be to walk up, at least with nothing on our shoulders. Yeah. And we're back to rocks. The first part of the portage reminded me of our first date on 3 Mile.
What?
With all the rocks. Clueless Ryan. It's just a million little rocks. Oh, shit, that scared the shit out of me.
What?
It's a snake. It's just a regular snake. No, I'll leave it. It was just a snake. Snakes are cool. Not generally afraid of snakes. However, if you're not expecting it, you startle everyone. It's the water. Are you excited to be done this portage?
Yeah.
Part one?
The first one felt worse.
Yeah, it felt longer.
Oh. Whew. Well, that portage wasn't too much fun, but we're back on Lady Evelyn now, so more fun with wind probably. I think right now we're not getting the full brunt of it because we're tucked behind a huge island in a little bay, but I'm sure it'll be fun once you roll around the corner and get into the big water again. I'm really not loving this lake. Woo. Back on the big water. She's a lot nicer than she was the other day. Whew. Oh, so glad to make it to site. That was a hell of a push. We're just working our way out this morning down the river, and we have some beautiful fog and very little wind of paddling, which has been unusual for this trip. It was not exactly how we wanted the trip to go, but hey, sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and change your plans. If I could give any piece of advice to people looking to do this trip, it's that you probably want to have some experience before you tackle this, because the wind is not kidding around on Lady Evelyn. And I would just factor in an extra day or two to allow for yourself being windbound, because it's just not worth pushing in that wind, especially if the water temperatures aren't amazing. Flipping the canoe in the middle of that lake would not be a good time. Anyways, get out there for some adventures of your own. They're waiting for you.